All sorts of classic and custom street rods have rolled into Knoxville, Tennessee to strut their stuff today on Dream Rides. For 43 years, the National Street Rod Association has presented the Street Rod National South. The skies may be gray, but the street rods are bright and beautiful.
The car is a 1936 two-door slantback. It had, originally it only had one windshield wiper and one tail light and no trunk. Access from the outside. It was the cheapest model that they built that year, and it was like $425 when it was new. I found the car in Minnesota, and it is all original steel with the exception of the running boards. There's not very many of them around. When I went to Evansville, Indiana to Frog Follies for the very first time, I sat at the front gate and watched 3,500 cars come through the gate. I saw one 36 slantback and two 35 slantbacks. And I made up my mind right then that that's the car I wanted. It took me 5 years to find one that was worth rebuilding. And the engine is the part that I'm really, really proud of. A friend of mine by the name of Dennis Pretty out of Nashville, Michigan, is a gunsmith. He builds long rifles, percussion cap, and flintlock. He did all the engraving on the engine, and it was done out of friendship, so that made it pretty nice. I wanted to be able to build one from scratch.
And his cousin told him he couldn't build one.
So that's one of the reasons that I built it.
It's a 1953 GMC Pickup, full custom. I found this in a coal mine in Kentucky. It cost me $200 for the truck, and then it cost me $300 to go back to Louisville, Kentucky to get a backhoe so I could pull the truck out. I've redone this truck 5 times in 7 years. Anytime you see something different, you want that. So everything on this truck's been done at my shop. It's won several awards here as a different truck, and it's won everywhere it goes as a different truck. Everything was steel, but I had to redo all the steel. The bed was actually a 3/4 ton, so I shortened it 17 inches, so it would be a short bed. This actually come with a hydromatic automatic transmission because they needed that for the lower gears in the coal mine so the transmission wouldn't slip. So that was the first automatic ever in a truck. It's always worth it. The hardest thing is every year I want to switch it. So I go out and buy something else. So now I've got 2 more trucks that I'm working on for next year. I'm not going to touch this one again. I've taken this one down 5 times, no more. I'm through.
An NSRA event provides a great chance to see some impressive products.
Smoothie Fab makes smooth running boards for classic cars and trucks. They're all made out of 16-gauge cold-rolled steel. The company actually started in 1989, and we purchased the company in 2015. We make running boards for just about any car, anywhere ranging from the 29 Chevy, the 54 Chevy Pickup, anything Dodge, Chrysler products, Fords, of course. I mean, we've got patterns for a Rockney, we've got patterns for Packard, all kinds of different stuff. If for some reason we don't have a pattern, a customer can send us an original part, and we can make a pattern off of that and then fabricate them from there. The running boards, when you receive them, will not be painted. They'll be covered with WD-40, and they'll be raw. The WD-40 will protect them from being rusted out. As long as they don't touch them, fingerprint them up and then set them to the side for months on end, there should be no problem with any kind of rust. For the custom boards, we've had anything from just a 2-inch wider rear board to there's been guys making like really long bed trucks that have been, 2, maybe 3 feet longer running boards, but we've been able to come through with even that. On most of our running boards, the bolt holes have been a little bit oversized so that it gives you a little bit of, movement back and forth. But for the most part, all the holes are in the factory location. Our company is located in Indian Trail, North Carolina, and everything we do is made in the USA.
We've got plenty more dream rides to come, including a 60s station wagon that may be one of a kind. Stay with us. Dream Rides is being brought to you by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. B-Rod or Custom, your one-stop destination for all things automotive. Smoothie Fabrication, real steel, real smooth, real cool. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation. Welcome back to Dream Rides at the NSRA Street Rod National South. Let's check out some more automotive eye candy.
1966 Chevrolet Caprice. We were about 8 hours from here. Drove in the rain all day yesterday to get here. Car was filthy, but handled like a pro. No flaws to it. I got lucky and built a good one. It drives really well. I have a 1934 Chevrolet Caprice, and it was done. And I thought, I'm not going to build any more cars. I'm getting old. Then I got bored. And it was time to build something else. And I started looking through some Auto Trader magazines, trying to find something else available. And oddly enough, this car was within 2 miles from my house. A little bit rough, rusty. Started out kind of crude, but I saw potential there and saw what it could be. And started about 3 years later is on the road. It rides great, it handles great on the road, and very happy with the build. The hood is probably the most conversational piece of the whole car. It was just a 67 Chevelle SS big block hood. Just bought a cheap one and cut the bumps out of it. Grafted into this hood. You see so many of these out there with cowl induction hoods, and it's just overdone, in my opinion. This is a 67 Chevelle big block hood with the bumps grafted to this hood. And the engine's okay, it's attractive, it's billet and chromed, but I think it gets more attention, more looks with that hood closed. Everybody looks at it and something's not right here, something's different, and it's all about the hood. The rest of the car basically remains factory. I think the color, the stamps, and it just looks sportier than it did when Grandma had it.
'62 Oldsmobile Starfire station wagon. Oldsmobile did not build a Starfire station wagon. As far as I know, it's one of one. I've looked for the builder. I've traced it back to Arizona. I don't know the real history of it. I didn't build it. I usually build my car, but when I saw this one, it was unique and everything else. The wife fell in love with it, and we purchased it, and we've been enjoying it ever since. But I'd like to find the history out of it, if it was actually built by Oldsmobile or if somebody actually built it themselves. I'd like to know who it was. It's every option. It's air, air conditioned. Got the light Sentinel, power seats, power windows, all the options that Oldsmobile had then. It's fully loaded. It's all factory colors, everything else. It's a Pacific Mist, or that is the color and everything. That's factory color of that year and everything else. The interior, same colors, everything else, like it would originally come from the factory. The way it is, the wife did, she says, don't put mags on it, all this. I says, no, it would alter the whole look. It's the way it appeals to me and everything. I leave it this way. I like the look and everything else. The way it is, the appearance, I don't want to change it. I like it the way it is. It's a cruising machine the way it is.
This is a 1948 Packard Deluxe. It has been modified significantly from its original condition. It is unusual in the fact that it's a two-door rather than the four-door. Most of the Packards in this year range for four doors. This is the two-door torpedo body. It came out of a junkyard in New Mexico because those cars coming out of there do not have rust. They have some minor surface rust, but the overall condition of the bodies is good. It was frame-off restored. It has been slammed down, runs well, probably doesn't get the greatest gas mileage in the world. The paint scheme that's on there now is close to the original in the fact that there were two tons. Originally, they had it painted all yellow, and it doesn't do anything for you. So the theme is, this is what would have existed at some time in the late 50s. Big engine, fuzzy dice, and the Lakes pipes, which are traditional. All of my cars are drivers. I don't trailer anything. If I'm going to own one of these, I'm going to drive it. It's going to get bugs on it. It's going to get paint chips, but I don't want a museum piece. I want to drive the car.
Stay with us for more Dream Rides. We're going to focus on a trio of fabulous Fords here at the 43rd Annual Street Rod National South in Knoxville, Tennessee. Welcome back to Dream Rides at the NSRA Street Rod National South. Let's check out some rides from the Blue Oval brand.
'54 Ford Skyliner. I got in Skyliners in '82, and I bought this car out of Nevada, and it was such a solid car. I wanted a street rod, so I built a street rod out of this one. So I enjoyed fooling with them, and the biggest thing that hurt these cars were they got ahead of themselves. They made the glass top before they come out with air conditioning, so it made them real hot, and it killed the sale of them. But this one here, I assure you, it's got air conditioning on it. Crestline is kind of like the top of the line for Ford. Crestline had all the whistles and bells, electric seats, and more chrome, more money. And they were about $2,400 in '54. So we go to Charlotte in April, big show, and we had the only car there. And we were down at Biloxi, Mississippi, cruising the coast in October. And lo and behold, here's another one drove up. He says, I told my buddy we'd have the only car here, and here you are. And I said, well, I told Kathy the same thing. So anyway, you don't see very many of them around. They're rare, and a lot of them in museums, and a lot of them went back to nature.
A couple of models that had different trim packages. When we got the car, it didn't have any of the trim, but then we repainted it and added the standard trim. Well, when we bought it, it was flat black and red. We didn't redo the top, we just redid the bottom, repainted and changed up the flames a bit. Painted it in the driveway for the most part. And had a friend of ours lay out the flames, and I've only had it about 7 years, but it was already painted and engine and it was running. We just sort of had to rehabilitate it, some suspension work. A guy out of Maryville, Tennessee, pinstriped it for us. Told him I wanted a bunny rabbit on the back tailgate because her name is Thumper, so he pinstriped me a evil bunny.
It's a 1950 Ford convertible. My first car in 1956 was a 50 Ford convertible. I was a junior in high school. And it lasted about 6 months before I destroyed it. And anyway, I found this one in '97, and everything I wanted to do that first and cutting, I did with it. And I try to keep it old school like we would have done it in the 50s. And I spent 6 years. Yeah, I finished it in '04, September of '04. And it's won 133 trophies.
so it's been a pretty nice car. Well, I had to put all new floor pans in it. Paint job took 3 years to paint it. The car was originally supposed to be pink and black. And the guy that works for DuPont that made the paint, he said, before you paint that black, we ought to check with another color and see if you need to do any more work on it before you put black, because black shows everything. So he gave me 5 gallon of white Emron, and I shot the car and I liked the white. And I've had a lot of fun in it. Since we finished, me and the wife have put 83,000 miles on it. My daughter last April went to Cuba on a tour. There was 10 couples that went down there, and she come back. She knows I got a lot of tags in my garage, and she said, "Here's another one for your garage, Dad." And I said, "No, that's going on in the car."
If your taste in Fords is more modern, B-Rod or Custom has a new product for you.
We're now offering a new roller package that looks like a 67 Mustang. We call it a P7. And this car will come as a fully assembled roller. All steel. We use Dynacorn body panels, but we set them on our chassis platform that I've been making for years. The Mustang that you see in the background is sitting on one of our platforms. So we are now offering an MSO, which is a manufacturer statement of origin, with serial numbers for this roller. And I think it's a great way for you to get a brand new 67 Mustang that has no rust, all new nuts and bolts. And what is so nice about this car is it comes with rack and pinion steering, tubular control arms, a 4-bar rear end with a brand new Curry housing and axles of your choice. We do offer exterior packages such as a glass package. You know, if you don't have a donor car, you're going to need all the glass, all the trim. You don't have to buy it from us, but I happen to have a package so you can buy it all at one time, so that you can basically, you will only need to furnish an engine, transmission, wiring, and upholstery, and paint. You can go on our website, www.d-rodorcustom.com for further information.
The Willys Coupe was always a mainstay of hot rodders and racers. When we come back to Dream Rides, we'll check out one that is hot, hot, hot. Dream Rides is being brought to you by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. Clamp Tight, the clamp making tool. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. And by Lizard Skin, spray your way to a cooler, quieter ride. Welcome back to Dream Rides. When NSRA puts on a show, you never know what cars will drop in or how they'll look.
This is a 41 Willys. It's got a 502 2-port injected motor in it. It's got an alligator, hornback alligator interior with leather. And the paint on it is tangerine orange house colors. And then with the flames and everything. And one thing about the flames is kind of a little unique. If you look at the car, it runs throughout the whole car. So if you open the hood, the flames are there. If you close the hood, the flames are there. The doors, same way. Everything runs in between everything. When I was growing up as a little kid, you know, you see all the little posters, or you go to the drag strips. First thing you saw was that Willys. This is a lot of work. So, but I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's just hard to drive it and not get on it and get me in a lot of trouble.
At Lizard Skin, we have several great products to help you quiet your car down and also insulate it. We'll start with our sound deadener first. Comes in a black bucket here. We use it to stop the metal vibrations, the rattles, the hollow echoey noises. We can put it inside the car or out. It is water-based, but it also creates a constant moisture barrier once you install it in the car. This is our sound deadener. So you can see how it cancels out that vibration. It'll do the same thing inside your car. Then we have here, we're showing all the different surfaces the product will go on. On steel, we need a primer. Then we have aluminum, stainless, fiberglass, and wood. We just clean it, scuff it, and spray it right on. The product can also be top coated once you get it installed. If you want to paint it body color, you can. You can base coat, clear coat it, or put a single stage urethane over it. Over here, we have our ceramic insulation. This is the one we use to create a thermal barrier to reflect heat out. We have this griddle set at 300 degrees, and I have 2 coats on there at 40 thousandths thick. And it shows you how well that it will keep the heat out from your engine, the transmission, exhaust, and even heat from the sun. You get a 95-degree day, it'll cool the interior of the car by 30 degrees. And if you put the lizard skin underneath your car, we also have a top coat that you can put right over the top of it, gives another extra sealant, and it also gives you a nice little semi-gloss.
My 1954 Chevy 210. I've had the car about 4 years. I've drove it to California 4 times. I mean, it's just a super great car, drives great. And I've had a blast there. It's just cool, you know, going, stopping in town, get gas, talk to people. I've had more fun in the 4 years I've had that car than the other 63 of my whole life, I think. But interior-wise, it's a lot of people don't notice it, but it's got a 57 Chevrolet, the upholstery in it. And the paint's been on it for about 8 years now. It's been lowered 3.5 inches in the back. I mean, it rides good. It's just enough to be, you know, it's not over the top, you know. It's just a neat old 50 style custom, you know.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week when we check out trucks of all sizes. See you then.